na'uzu billah, nakale kufr nabashat, that it means that she was having a relationship that was haram relationship. The children coming out of that relationship, they were haram children, bastard children. These are the implications.
Where Hazrat Mirza Sahib has mentioned whatever Jews they have blamed Hazrat Mariam for.
When Dr. Yahya said Alhamdulillah, so it does not mean that any of the objection was answered, but inshallah everybody has the right to say Alhamdulillah. So don't get carried away by that Alhamdulillah said in the beginning, because this is, he starts the conversation. How would you justify something haram, illegal, illegitimate, najaiz in the law of Moses just by Mirza Ghulam saying that family was forced into this situation, so we should have mercy for the family?
Your point is nikah is illegal. Yes, Promised Messiah Asalam did say that in those writings, but he is quoting Jewish scholars.
Mirza Ghulam was quoting the Jewish scholars. No, Dr. Yahya, Mirza Ghulam was quoting the law of Tawrat. He said according to Yahud, Kanune ya Shariat Musfi ke mutabik. So let's please correct this one.
Would you allow your daughter, any member of your female member of your family, to pair around with another man?
Customs of Jews and the Jewish tribe. If I was at that time and that was my custom, then of course I would.
So you were okay, subhanallah.
Now,
amongst the Afghans or the Jews, that any one of them would allow their daughter before nikah to travel around with a man.
And Dr. Yahya, just you said few seconds ago that nikah did not happen during the pregnancy. Mirza is saying, but when she was pregnant for 6 or 7 months, the elders, the kuffar, according to Mirza Ghulam, the kuffar, when the 6 or 7 months pregnancy became apparent, then in the state of pregnancy, the kuffar elders of the family got her married to Joseph the carpenter, and after she went to his home, after a couple of months, she gave birth to a son. This was referred or was given the title or the name of Isa or Yeshua. Please don't just say things which you can't back up.
Brother, for God's sake, when you present reference of Hazrat Mirza Sahib, for God's sake, read all of it with neutral mind. Okay. Now you guys have discussed something like for 2-3 hours. I'm not just saying it. I'm going to prove it, inshallah. That with regard to nikah of Hazrat Mariam alayhi salam. Brother Imtiaz, you presented one reference from page 322 of Malfuzat, volume 2. Do you remember that reference? Do you remember that reference?
You continue.
Did you read the reference, all of it yourself or not? The reason I'm asking you is because there was a key in the reference which would have resolved all the problems about other references that you presented. For example, reference of 24th of July 1902. Reference of April Al-Hakam, I'm talking about 1902. So what was that key? Do you know the key or shall I tell you the key? Can I share my screen?
Yes. You have 6 seconds left.
When you want to present something, go ahead, present it and say, look, this is how you misrepresented Mirza Sahib.
So you said that I am presenting references and then you try to give me the advice, or you said that you want to teach me something that when I present, etc., etc. So inshallah we'll see, because you said that had I read things, it would have resolved the problem. So let me reiterate the problem and we will let you resolve for us. So basically listen the problem and please take note, Dr. Yahya. The problem we are facing is, there are many points, but I will stick with one point so we can have a good discussion. So the problem we are facing is, according to law of Moses, if Mariam would get married, this would be a illegitimate najaiz nikah. This will be an insult to the law of Moses, and both of these two things have been already established and admitted by Razi that yes, in the law of Moses, this part is not having any tahrif. Yes, it was part of law of Moses. She could not have get married in pregnancy. So the problem we are facing is, if this was against law of Moses, this was an insult of law of Moses, so it means that this nikah was illegitimate. Okay, and if nikah is illegitimate, it has very serious, heinous implications. For example, that when the Mariam, if the nikah was illegitimate, na'uzu billah, nakale kufr nabashat, that it means that she was having a relationship that was haram relationship. The children coming out of that relationship, they were haram children, bastard children. These are the implications. So you said that you have something to resolve this issue, and we were not reading things in the context. That's why we have the issue. So inshallah we'll let you resolve this issue. I only mentioned one point. Let's stick with this one point. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Let me restart your time.
Okay. Now, the important thing is, brother, this is the same reference from page 322, where Hazrat Mirza Sahib has mentioned whatever Jews they have blamed Hazrat Mariam for. And then at the end, the key what I'm saying to, he said, I really respect Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and I accept that he was the true prophet of Allah. And he said that Hazrat Mariam was Siddiqa. Key, what I'm saying. He said, I am going to collect all these allegations of Jews, and then I'm going to answer them in favor of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and at the same time, I'm going to compare, because Jesus was also, they used to claim him as God. He said, I'm going to compare the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Jesus. That is the key, brother. And now, why I said that that's the key? Because all these references, brother, which you showed, 24th of July 1902, and even the reference of Naseem Dawat. That's why you will see Mirza Sahib is bringing Christians, he's answering Christians in light of Jews, and at the same time he's comparing Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, their God, with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's comparing Injil and Torah with the Holy Quran. Isn't that true? What I said it, that in these the statements of the writings of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is doing that. Now, if you don't understand what he's trying to do, the result is what the result which you have, you decided that he is doing Nauzubillah insult of Hazrat Mariam. No, he is clarifying. He first of all is taking Jewish statements, and
Thank you very
then
much. Your time is up, brother. We understand. So Brother Imtiaz, this was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad clarifying that actually he respects Isa Islam and Mariam Islam, and all the references are refutations of Christians. Please give us your thoughts. I'll start your time.
Yeah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So point number one, we are not disputing that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani in his writings, he has praised Isa alayhi salam, he has praised Mariam alayhi salam. Those are not the point of contention. The point of contention is when Mirza Ghulam Qadiani try to reconcile one thing. Listen this point very careful, Dr. Yahya, please. When Mirza Ghulam tried to reconcile one thing, and that the thing was, because as you said, there was a serious objection on Mariam alayhi salam. You rightly said that you would have the objection. So they were saying that, for example, nikah in pregnancy is haram. It's not jais. How did he do this? How can she be married? Okay. So Mirza Ghulam is not saying that this is, Mirza Ghulam is admitting and conceding the objection, and then he respond that. What is the response? We have discussed in length. The response is the family was forced into this situation. So we have to have sympathy for the family. We have respect for all of these emotions. But the question is technical question, Dr. Yahya, and none of what you presented takes the point away. I am not disputing, we are not contesting that Mirza Ghulam has praise for Maria, etc. That's not the point. The point is this problem, that Mirza Ghulam conceded that according to law of Moses, which is law of Allah, she could not have get married, but she did get married, and this nikah is insult of the law of Moses, which was the law of Allah of that time. So we are discussing that how would you give us the answer for this problem, because you said you have something that can resolve this problem. Razi spent 4 hours, he did not resolve the problem. We want you to resolve the problem. So please don't quote the irrelevant things. It's with respect, quote the relevant things which can resolve the problem. Thank you very much.
No problem, brother. Now, Alhamdulillah. Now, at least you admitted that as far as these writings are concerned, Promised Messiah alayhi salam, he is trying his best he is giving respect to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam and Hazrat Mariam alayhi salam. But your problem is this nikah thing. Yes. Now, that brings us to the same, Promised Messiah alayhi salam, when he wrote in 1901, the reference which I just showed you, he said that I'm going to collect all these allegations and I'm going to answer them. Now, Promised Messiah, that is 1901. The references you presented, brother, is 1902. That's when he started this work. He took Christians, Jewish statements, and he presented to Christians, and he told them at the same time, try to resolve them. But at the same time, his focus was that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, whatever Christian you bring him, he is not worthy of calling God, because our superior to Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why you see that statement. Last thing, nikah thing. That's why when in 1908, Hazrat Promised Messiah alayhi salam, when he wrote the book Ayamus Surah, and at that time, his, the historical research told him that Jews and Afghans, they have certain traditions which are common, customs which are common. That's why he wrote what he wrote in that Ayam Sulu. He said that those people, they do not differentiate between Nata and Nikah. Why? Because at Nata, they also do Haq Meher. So, what happened? During the time when she was pregnant, Hazrat Mariam had Nata with Hazrat Yusuf, with Yusuf. Not that proper Nikah. After that, you can have in the relationship. But once the pregnancy was, the child was delivered, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam was delivered, then they had proper nikah. That's why he differentiated in that phase. And now that is also the problem.
Your time's up. But before you carry on, Imtiaz, so Dr. Yahya, you've raised the contradiction in terms again. I think we raised this before with you in the past. I'm not talking about all of this because you didn't mention that allegation refuting section of your talk. But you've done this thing again where you said that the customs that the Jews had were a common one, and there is no difference between the nata and nikah. They did not differentiate between them. But at the same thing, you said that it was not a proper nikah that would allow a relationship.
Yes.
So that means that there was a differentiation between the nata and nikah. So those two things you're saying at the same time cannot be true. So either there is no difference between the nata and nikah, or there is a difference between them, because you're saying that there is no difference, and then the second time you're saying actually that they could not have a proper relationship, but it was not a proper nikah, because it doesn't make sense. First you said no difference, there was a meher was given, nata and nikah are the same, and the second point you're saying it wasn't a proper nikah that they could have a relationship. So these are opposite things and they don't make sense. But I'm just referring you to that because I just want you to understand how it's coming across. So brother Imtiaz, this is a collection of allegation, and this is what was being done here. Your thoughts, please. I will start your time.
Jazakallah khairan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So point number one, obviously, because some people are very common people in the audience. So when Dr. Yahya said Alhamdulillah, so it does not mean that any of the objection was answered, but inshallah everybody has the right to say Alhamdulillah. So don't get carried away by that Alhamdulillah said in the beginning, because he starts the conversation. And after that, Dr. Yahya, you said many things. So but again, instead of raising 10 points, I want to stick the point Dr. Imran raised is a very valid point. Inshallah I will come to that afterward. But the first point I want to raise is, Dr. Yahya, we want to resolve the problem. Help us to resolve the following problem. This nikah is admitted by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. It was against the law of Moses. It was najais, illegitimate. Okay, you need to give us the evidence that the nikah, because just by Mirza Ghulam saying, because Mirza Ghulam has no authority over law of Moses at that time, you cannot back project his hakam and other authority on the people of Moses, right? It does not make any sense. So you need to tell us that how would you justify something haram, illegal, illegitimate, najais in the law of Moses just by Mirza Ghulam saying that family was forced into this situation, so we should have mercy for the family. We are not concerned about it. Our concern is this. Please, stick to our concern is this nikah was haram, najais, illegitimate according to Allah's law. It was insult of Allah's law. If it took place, what are the implications? How would you make this nikah a legitimate nikah? If you have something, please produce. Just by saying Mirza Ghulam said this, it will not solve the problem. In the time of Mariam, Mirza Ghulam was not hakam and other. I'm done. So just stick with this one point first.
Right, that's fine. Now, I'm just going to remind you, brother, your stream is about that Jamaat Ahmadiyya Muslimah claims something or rejects the Holy Quran. Now, first of all, very important thing, when Brother Marwan was speaking, all of you agreed that as far as the Holy Quran is concerned, the Holy Quran is silent, whether after the birth of Jesus, whether she got married or not. There is not a single verse about that, whether she got married or not. So as far as Holy Quran is concerned, it is silent. As I said to you in these references, you have to go back and read them again. What Prophet ﷺ is doing here. There, he is saying that historically there are statements of Jews which also Christian believe in, and because of that, there are certain allegations on Hazrat Mariam and Hazrat Masih Islam's his birth. Prophet Islam is trying to resolve them, and that's what he did in his statement. And at the same time, he is trying to, because it was 100 years ago, Christian used to believe that he is God. He is also trying to prove that Islam is true religion and the Holy Prophet is superior than Isa Islam. Now, how he resolved it? When he said nikah, it is not allowed. He is talking about those Jewish writing and those Christian writing. Okay. Now that nikah, he said they forced her to do it. But afterwards, in 1908, when he wrote that book, he also, at that time, obviously, because he was doing research about that, he also came to this, and he came to his knowledge that Jews, they do this, and that's the same tradition which Afghan people do. Okay. So that's why he said, when he said those words, that Hazrat Mariam salam ka Yusuf ke saath qabla nikah phirna. But we have to understand that was not, nata was with meher, so it was allowed at that time. It was allowed.
So this is the thing. So you're saying that the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was trying to reconcile Jews and Christian writing, but the point the brother Imtiaz was making, and you've mentioned it here, that this was saying that this nikah was not legal and she was forced to do this. This is the claim that's being made. Now the problem here is that this doesn't take away from the fact that what she's entering into would be sinful because it's against the Sharia of the time. Now Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in his writings, he seems to agree with this position that this was illegitimate, but because she was forced to, that there's a, you can make the argument that she's not to blame, but the problem is it doesn't take away the illegality of the act, and you don't seem to be addressing this in your thing. I'm just summarizing, but brother Imtiaz, please start whenever you wish to.
Bismillah
Brother
ar-Rahman
Imran, Brother Imran, look, if you're going to bring things in the middle, then
I'm bringing the same thing. One second. One second. Let me explain, because one thing that we don't understand is that I have to clarify the content of the discussion for the audience to understand.
I understand.
I will make comments. I will give commentary. I will call out things that don't make sense. What you mustn't do is be upset by this. Make a note. You'll have
time.
not
upset. I'm laughing. I'm smiling, brother. I'm not upset.
I don't say you are upset. I'm just saying don't be upset by this.
Brother,
so let brother Imtiaz carry on, and then we
can
request.
Imtiaz, brother, you can carry on. One request. Thing is, then you should be doing the same thing to Imtiaz. I asked the question that Quran is silent about it. You should say to brother Imtiaz, look, brother Imtiaz, can you give the example and words of the ayah that Quran is not silent?
If I feel that's necessary, I definitely will do that. Okay?
Sure.
So please, brother Imtiaz, please continue.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dr. Yahya, my request is, let's go in a systematic and logical way. The point that Mariam alayhi salam married against the law of Moses, this marriage was illegitimate and insult to the law of Moses. This point has already been established in the last 4 hours. Okay, so no need to go back that Jews were saying this, Christians were saying this. This point has already been established. Now we want to move on. Okay, because you came here to resolve the problem that, okay, if this nikah was illegitimate, and this is the only question I'm repeating again, Yahya, that this nikah was illegitimate, yes, it has been conceded, then how can an illegitimate nikah be justified? Okay, in the law of Moses, you need to justify the nikah. That is the question. So let's not go back to what discussed 4 hours. Okay, now, second point, you said that Quran is silent. No, Dr. Yahya, listen very carefully. Inshallah, I will produce evidence. Quran is not silent. Sayyida Mariam alayhi salam was never going to have any marriage, and Isa alayhi salam was never going to have any stepfather. Inshallah, I will produce. So let's take it away. But inshallah, we'll go point to point. You can note down. It is my responsibility to give you the Quranic answer that Quran is not silent. Inshallah, I will address that. So now again, Imran bhai, I don't want to say 10 things. I only said one thing. Number one, it has been established that this nikah was against the law of Moses and insult to a law of Moses. No need to go back to that. Now we are on the stage where Dr. Yahya is going to resolve this problem, that how to justify this haram nikah. That is the question. Okay, I give my 10 seconds to Dr. Yahya if Imran bhai allows me, but I don't want to go any further on any further point.
That's fine. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to set your time up now. Please respond to the question, Dr. Yahya.
Yeah, no problem.
How do you justify the illegal nikah?
Yeah, no problem. Now, brothers, I think I have explained myself. You cannot say to me that in 4 hours you have discussed that, so we can't discuss that. If I'm telling you that you guys have made a mistake, then I should be given this opportunity to rectify your mistake. And that's what I'm trying to do. Now, that's one thing. Secondly, your point is nikah is illegal. Yes, Promised Messiah alayhi salam did say that in those writings, but he is quoting Jewish scholars again and again. Isn't that true, Imtiaz? That he is saying, Jewish is saying that, and Christian are saying, okay? So he's referring to that.
Okay, now, I want to clarify one thing with you then, because you're going back on something that someone has already agreed with, so I need to clarify from you. Are you saying that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad does not consider this to be an illegal nikah? That he's just quoting Jews and Christians who do, but he himself does not think that this is a legal nikah? Is that what you're saying?
That's my next part. I'm coming to that. Yeah.
I'll start your time again.
Yeah, sure. Now, important thing is, very important thing, that's the right question, even though Quran is silent about that, but still your question is, was that nikah legal or not legal? Now, brothers, listen to me carefully. And Imtiaz, brother, maybe write it down. There were two stages according to Yamisulah. One stage, Nata with Haq Meher, which allowed them to move around but don't have relationship with each other to have children because she was pregnant anyway. Second stage, when after the birth of Jesus, obviously it was allowed to have nikah. And that's the reason Promised Messiah ﷺ has written that statement which you people were laughing about that. He resolved this issue. And more importantly, he has taken that blame away from Hazrat Mariam ﷺ, and he has given her the respect which she deserved. Even though people of Jews, they tried their best, whatever they wanted to do it. But Hazrat Masih Maud has done an excellent job.
Your time is up, and I wish I could say I agree with you. There's a problem with this, brother.
You don't have to agree with me, brother.
I'm not agreeing with you. I'm not saying I don't agree with you.
Public will decide. I'm going
to help the public to clarify, to understand. Yeah. So you're right; they will decide. So there's a few things, Brother Imtiaz, before you commence. So you're saying things that are opposite. you're saying that there was this different. First of all, again, you're saying that this was a refutation of the Christian statement, and you're saying that, and you're not giving, didn't answer the question. What was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's position on this? You didn't give your clarification because you said it was wrong, but you didn't clarify that what his position was. And then you're saying that because, and the explanation was that he was that Mariam Islam was pitting around with Joseph after Anata, which was the same as the nikah, and the Hakmer was given, but you said that relationships couldn't happen, which would again your same contradiction you're left with. What is the difference between Anata and nikah then if the relationships couldn't happen and the Hakmer was given? And then you to try to bolster your point, they said they couldn't have relationships because she was pregnant. Of course, that doesn't prevent relationships. You know that yourself as a medical doctor. So the points that you're making don't make sense. And they're not following in any explanation of this. But you regard this as a good response from Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. I understand that. But we need to clarify these points. What was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's position? This tradition you're referring to, I don't know of any Afghani who would agree with you. And in fact, many people in the many comments in the chat are saying the opposite of this. And you still haven't. But 1 second, don't need to get agitated. So the other thing is that you're still making this separation between nikah and nata without clarifying what the difference is. Because if you've given your hakmer and they're regarded as the same, if you think that because you're saying they're regarded the same, but at the same time you're saying they're not the same, and you're saying they couldn't have relationships because she was pregnant, and obviously pregnancy does not preclude relationships. So brother Imtiaz, your thoughts please.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The point number one I want to clarify for the audience. He says that Mirza Ghulam was quoting the Jewish scholars. No, Dr. Yahya, Mirza Ghulam was quoting the law of Tawrat. He said according to the Yahud Kanune ya Shariat Musfi ke mutabik. So let's please correct this one. So if Jews were under the law of Moses, and this family is under the law of Moses, and Mirza Ghulam is quoting law of Moses, so let's not go into that. And secondly, please clarify, are you trying to say that Razi got it wrong? Because we did not get a clear answer. Are you trying to say that when Razi admitted that yes, this was a statement of fact said by Mirza Ghulam that this nikah was against the law of Moses, Razi has admitted this. Are you saying that Razi made a mistake in that? So please clarify that. And last point is this. So I have noted down, you said multiple times about the nikah and nata, and Imran Bhai pointed out a very legitimate, sensical question. Inshallah, I have noted that. But again, I said in the beginning, we'll go point to point. Because if I will touch on that point, I will not be able to then focus on the point we are discussing. So now listen the question very carefully, Dr. Yahya. You said that this thing, that the nikah was against the law of Moses, this was the Yahud's quotation. Mirza Ghulam was quoting the Yahud. I corrected you. He was quoting, saying that Tawrat ke khilaf tha. Okay, it was against the Torah, the law of Moses, which was the law of Allah, number one. Number two, okay, we'll give you the opportunity. Okay, when Jews were accusing, according to you, that this nikah is against the law of Moses. So what was the response of Mirza Ghulam? Did he say, no, it wasn't against law of Moses? Or he said, yes, it was against the law, but let me justify that for you. Because these are two ways, and these could be two possible positions of Mirza Ghulam. So listen very carefully. I want to take 10 seconds, Imran Bhai, please. So I want to say, Dr. Yahya, if Mirza Ghulam if this was not his position, this was the Yahud's position, my question to you is, did Mirza Ghulam say that no, this nikah was not against law of Moses? Or did he concede the objection and then he gave justification? What was Mirza Ghulam's position?
Please stop.
And I appreciate extra time. Jazakallah khair, brother.
No, I think you guys have first of all, brother Imran, even if you said 20 times you haven't explained it, people leave public decide. Let public decide. There's no point saying that I think please be careful in future. Let the public decide. Secondly, now brother, I think I have explained to you. You are not listening what I'm saying. Hazur said in that reference, he said, I'm going to collect all the allegations of Jews and I'm going to answer them and I'm going to clarify the name of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Number one. Secondly, he said, but at the same time, that's the important thing which you people are trying to ignore it. At the same time, he wanted to glorify Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, my beloved Prophet, as compared to Jesus, the biblical personality, because of the situation in India. Thirdly, as I said, you are again saying that did he accept Jewish position? Did he say illegitimate or not? Brother, he has clearly said the Jews, when they did that nikah, that was against their Sharia. But you have to understand, some things are rules and laws are flexible, and that's why when Prophet Messiah Islam, he saw in history, and that's what Al-Hadith has also written, that the Jews, they also used to do this nata, where hakmer used to be established, but no sexual relationship. Important thing. So he came with this conclusion. That's what he's written in Iyam Sulah, that first that nata happened, and then obviously the nikah happened off. But as far as those writings are concerned, because Jews called them nikah, he referred that to nikah. but that was not original nikah.
So, oh gosh, okay. Brother Imtiaz, I'll let you carry on.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, Dr. Yahya, you said few things. So, I'm going to quote you verbatim. You said that was against their Sharia. Alhamdulillah, that point has been conceded now. Okay, let's put it on the side. This point has been established again. So you admitted that Raziullah was not in any error. Mirza Ghulam's position is in fact that this nikah was against their Sharia, law of Moses, which was law of Allah. So that point has been re-established. So I don't know what you tried to say when you said in the beginning earlier that they made some mistake. I don't know what the mistake was, because you admitted as well. Second point, now you need to produce evidence, Dr. Yahya. You said, I'm going to quote verbatim, you said that some rules are flexible. So first you admitted that this marriage was against the law of Moses, and then you opened up a window by saying, but some rules are flexible. You need to produce evidence where Mirza Ghulam said this thing, what you said, that yes, this was the law of Moses, but it has flexibility. So he tried to explain this nikah through flexibility of the law. You need to produce evidence. Where was this Mirza Ghulam's position that it was flexibility in the law? And next thing you're saying again and again, Nata this and that. We are not disputing. Dr. Listen very carefully. We are not saying that Mirza Ghulam said that Sayyida Mariam alayhi salam, okay, she was with Joseph the carpenter, and that's how Isa born. That's not discussion here. That's separate discussion. Discussion is that Mirza Ghulam admitted, you admitted, Razi admitted that this nikah was against the law of Moses. If a nikah is illegal, haram, the marriage is haram, the children are haram, these are necessary implications. And you have given us one answer so far, that there was some flexibility in the law. Please produce the evidence for the flexibility. And lastly, you still have not told us that what was the answer when Mirza Ghulam collected all the evidence. What answer he gave?
Right.
I'll start your time.
You see, brother, that is the problem which I always refer to you. For God's sake, when you bring the references in your stream, try your best to read the references fully. Okay. Now I feel like I'm repeating myself. I've given you answer, and answer is very. I don't need the certificate from you, Imran. You can keep your opinion to yourself. I given you answer. Now,
what was the answer? What was the answer?
Let me finish. First answer. Your stream is completely is wrong, because you still have not produced that is written in the Holy Quran that Hazrat Mariam didn't get married. So why are we even discussing this? Number one, that's my answer. Secondly, you have to produce the verse of the Holy Quran now. Secondly, Hazrat Masih Maud Wasalam, when he wrote those articles, he is taking the writings of Jewish writings which he has disliked. Imran, did you read that he disliked those writings there? And he said there are certain things which I can't even repeat, including the word he said, they call him Yusu. Rather than with Ain, they call him Yusu. So Hazrat Masih Maud Wasalam, when he wrote those writings, he is trying to answer allegations about Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. At the same time, he is proving that Christianity is lower than Islam. Okay, so you have to read these writings in that context. Secondly, why it was illegitimate children? I'm telling you, first it was nata, then it was proper nikah. You still repeating yourself, brother. Have you not understood my point?
Okay, so I mean, it's interesting because what you're doing is you're not answering the specific questions, and I know that you're giving an answer, but it's not an answer to the questions you're being asked. And so, we definitely appreciate that you feel, but first of all, you came on saying that there is something I can tell you that will clarify everything for you and show everything is wrong.
Only for mu'mineen, brother. Only for mu'mineen.
Relax. Don't worry. Relax. So the thing that you didn't do is actually produce that thing. You talked about it, but you didn't produce it to clarify. It would finish the stream, isn't it? That thing that would clarify for us that the whole stream is wrong. Relax. So a very simple thing that you need to do is produce something that you said that would end the stream, because that would be the easiest thing to do. It's interesting that your approach. The second thing is that you're saying he collected all of these evidences, which were issues between the Jews and the Christian, but you're not telling us his position. What was his final conclusion? What was his, when he clarified, when he gathered all of the different views of the Jews and the Christians, what did he conclude? The conclusion that's been presented to you by Brother Imtiaz and for the stream, that this was something that was against the law of Moses. This nikah she was forced into it because of the panicking of her elders at the time. This would make the nikah illegal. Now, the other thing that you bring around is something called pirna around with a nata, and the claim is made with no evidence, no supporting evidence. The claim is made that in Jewish culture and in Afghan culture, you are allowed to, before having a complete nikah, when you still got a nata, and then although you differentiate between them and also don't differentiate between them at the same time, you say they're the same but different. Yes, but no, but yes, but no, but. And then you say because they were traveling around together, this was somehow everything was okay, but they weren't allowed to have any relations because she was expecting. I don't understand this point. Tell me, if you want to respond to me, tell me which new question that I've brought that you would like to respond to. If not, I would like Dr. Brother Imtiaz to continue.
I will respond to.
Okay. So, Brother Imtiaz, please continue.
No, I have to respond to you first.
Which
brother.
new question? You want to tell me which new question I asked? Which was the new question that I asked?
You haven't made a claim. You were saying that I made a claim.
Which was the new question that I asked?
You, brother, okay. It's my turn. No, let me
tell me which was the new question.
Yeah, I'm telling you. There are two claims. First of all, you said I have made a claim without any evidence.
About
which
what?
Is wrong.
Claim about what? You have to be specific.
Please, page 300.
Please be specific, Dr. Yahya. Please be specific. What claim about what? What claim did I make that you gave no evidence about?
Hazrat Mirza Sahib said that relationship between Yusuf and Hazrat Mariam were legitimate. You said there is no evidence. I gave you evidence of Yama Surah, page 300.
And you're saying that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, I want to clarify this because now we have two opposing references now. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that the nikah that Mariam alayhi salam had with Yusuf was legitimate, legal nikah. Yes,
brother, I have told you very clearly.
That's the question that you're asking.
Nikah happened first, and then real nikah. Shall I say it again? You're a doctor, brother.
It was not. This is not a medical question, so you should understand as well. Yes.
No, but we assume doctors are more intelligent. I assume that for you.
Theoretically, but listen.
Don't prove me wrong, please.
Okay, it's okay. Don't worry. This is again gaslighting. It doesn't really work. I don't know what your specialty is.
There is another claim you made.
Hang on a second. One second, because you're going. So the first question is, we want to see this evidence where Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that the nikah was legal between Mariam alayhi salam and Joseph alayhi salam. Please present it.
Okay.
Then we go to your second point. So first point first.
Okay. Now he said that's exactly the same reference, which is in.
Not useful. Read it out, please. You always show this paper with a hole in it. Just read the reference.
Oh, it's because of my screen. That's okay. You're right. That's fine. Because I got green highlighter, I think it becomes old.
No problem.
Okay, no problem. Now this is Rohani Khazain Jild 14, page 300. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here he said that पांचवा करीना उनके वो रसूम हैं जो यहूदियों से बहुत मिलते हैं. And मसलन उनके बाज़ कबाइल नाता important point.
So translate as you go for the audience, please. I want them to hear.
I will. 1 second. I'm just going to. He says the fifth point is that the customs or these people. He's talking about Afghan now, and that's exactly the same thing. Which just before I say that, Ahl Hadith is the same thing. That Afghan has got that tradition custom. He said Afghan has got the same custom as Jews. What is the custom? He said, for example, some of their tribes they don't differentiate between nata and nikah. Okay. He said, and ladies.
Before you move forward, okay. So what this is the thing you're trying to do. You're trying to show that this was a legal marriage. Nikah was legal. Okay. Now, 1 second. I want to because this is very important because this is where the confusion is starting to come.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is where it's important that we clarify. So you said that the claim is being made, and you're pointing towards some other people as well. But your claim is being made. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that there were people amongst the Jews and amongst the Afghan who had this custom, and you're describing the custom. Yes. Now, this custom you said is what called?
It's called nata and then nikah. It's the similar.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah,
no problem.
Like
so
we have
I would like you to do. No, 1 second. So I want you. You're giving two different words. Do they have the same meaning or do they have a different meaning?
Yeah, let me explain. So between nata and nikah. At that time, they both used to have dowry at the same time, with nata and nikah. The only thing was, before nikah, ladies, they can go, you can move around with nata, but they cannot have relationship.
So what do you mean? Okay, 1 second. Okay, so you're making a difference between these, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So who had which group of people had the nata and which group of people had the nikah? Or are they both people had both things?
So your question is not very clear, brother.
I'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
You're saying there are two stages. One stage is nata and one stage is nikah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are both of these stages for both of these people? Did the Jews have the same custom and the Afghans have the same custom?
Yes, some of them they do.
So both of the Jewish people of the time had nata and nikah, and the Afghans at the time had nata and nikah.
Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, of course, some of them you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, from this point, I want you to clarify to me what the difference is between the nata and the nikah for both of these people.
No problem. Now, just to make you explain to you, brother, just saying nata is similar to like we have engagement nowadays with one big difference. With engagement, we don't have dowry. But at that time, at Nata, there was dowry. They used to establish it, that this is going to be dowry.
You mean
So
meher, not dowry, you mean meher.
Meher.
Dowry
Meher.
is something.
Meher, sorry. And then after that, once they had Nata, they were allowed to meet each other or move around with each other, but they were not allowed to have sex relationship.
Well, sorry, so
that was
you're
only established
Okay.
after the real nikah.
So the meher was given before the nikah was done.
It was established. It doesn't say given.
No,
It doesn't say given.
This is the same as not being given, isn't it? Do you
He
understand?
said, this, Hazur said,
Dr.
this
Yahya,
may-
one second. Dr. Yahya, one second. Being established means just being spoken about. Is this what you mean, or you mean it was handed over?
Now, when we do nikah, Islamic nikah, do we hand it over? No, we don't.
I'm asking you.
He
Actually,
said-
one second. I'm asking you a very specific question that you've changed the time frame now from the time of Mariam al-Islam to now. I'm asking you a specific question. When they did the nikah, the nata, not the nikah, was the meher handed over to the lady or not handed over to the lady? Did she receive it?
Masih Wasallam has written, जिसमें पहले मेहर भी मुकर्रर हो जाता है. They used to establish it.
They discussed it.
Yeah.
So there was nothing, no formal thing done except for discussion between the parties.
There used to be, obviously must be an announcement. That's why they know that there's nata between this girl and that boy.
Announcement
And
of what?
the mahar was established.
Announcement of what? Sorry.
Nata.
No. But what is it? You can't say that a nata is an announcement. What are they announcing?
That this boy and this girl, they are in nata now. That they were announcing. Like we do. I'm trying to explain you now. Like we say now, X and Y, they are engaged now.
Okay, so when you're engaged, you are now allowed to travel with each other and be with each other in seclusion and everything else.
At that time, in some tribes, after Nata, they were allowed.
So this is the claim being made, right?
They've written the same thing.
This is the problem now. Now, this is not nikah. You're agreeing this is not nikah?
They used to consider.
No, I'm asking you, Dr. Yahya, because we spent 2 or 3 minutes, Dr. Yahya, we spent 2 or 3 minutes clarifying the difference between nata and nikah.
Yeah. Now,
what you clarified is one is an engagement without the handing over a meher, but it's spoken about, and the other one is the proper nikah. Now, what's the difference within the proper nikah? What's the difference between them? Please explain.
I think I explained to you after
nata. You tell me about the nata. Tell me about the nikah. What is that?
After nikah, this is like our wedding.
What is it? What is the nikah? What is the nikah?
Nikah is when they announce, obviously, they are proper husband and wife, that they can have.
What happens? What is the nikah? Because the announcement is just an announcement.
Brother,
you've already made an announcement. I'm asking you to clarify.
Whatever nikah they used to do at that time, that's what nikah is. I know I'm not 100% sure about how Jews used to do it. I can tell you what Islamic nikah is.
But you're making the claim, isn't it, that there were groups of people?
I'm not making the Jews. Your LMDC is also making the claim.
One second. There's a problem here, and this is what Brother Rizzi does as well. Is that you seem to think that the words of a person are equal in weight to the words of someone you regard as a prophet, and that's a really big problem when you do this.
Historically,
it's a very big. So the claim that be calm.
History.
Be calm. Just be calm. Relax. We're just trying to understand.
I am relaxed.
Good. So here are the conversations. Let's do the conversations. So when you're making the claim about on a historical basis, that's a different thing to do entirely. So on a historical basis, you're making this claim. You need to evidence that claim in some way that this is actually what these people used to do. But it still doesn't get you away from the fact that before a nikah was done, that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is alleging that Mariam al-Islam was hanging around, pitting around, which is a negative connotation on the.
No. That's from your brain.
No,
it's not.
Okay, so I'll ask you the question that Brother Adnan asked you. Would you allow your daughter, any member of your female member of your family, to pit around with another man?
I can answer you.
What's the answer to that question?
Let me answer. Now, we are specifically talking about the customs of Jews and the Jewish tribe. If I was at that time and that was my custom, then of course I would.
So you okay? Subhanallah.
Now
okay.
I follow. Now okay, no problem. At that time, there was no Quran.
So, okay, 1 second. You would allow 1 second. This is really what I wanted to hear from you, because it shows you to the degree that you will fall to answer the question in a way that favors Mirza Ghulam Ahmad rather than the truth.
No, I'm telling you
there is no way, and I tell you now, amongst the Afghans or the Jews, that any one of them would allow their daughter before nikah to travel around with a man.
Brother Imran, have you got daughter?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Will you allow your daughter to have muta with me?
What are you talking about?
Oh, come on, Dr. Yahya.
That time, there was time when Sahaba.
Shame on you.
This is the level.
Dr. Yahya. Brother Imran,
let me deal with
you. It's all right.
Shame on you.
This is really the level that we have to fall to.
No.
No problem. Listen, because you know that this is.
No, Yahya.
No, one second.
Dr. Yahya,
Don't worry.
one second, Dr. Imran. Dr. Yahya, you are taking. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, assalamu alaikum to you. Yahya said, assalamu alaikum. One thing I want to say to you, brother, you are taking a excerpt from Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's writing.
How many people I'm talking to? You?
One second, Yahya bhai. Yahya said. Yahya said.
No, Marwan, I'm not.
No, Yahya said, because what you said was completely abhorrent. I just want to explain something. No. You no. They did not ask you. They did not ask you that question to hurt you. No. Yahya, I heard that. No. Yahya, they did not ask you that question.
Marwan, one second. First of all, unfortunately, I was expecting at some point for the true face of the Ahmadis to show, because one of the things that, one second, I'm muting you, Dr. Yahya, for just speaking over me. One of the common things we see amongst the Ahmadiyya is they pretend to be very polite and kind. It's a very big show.
I asked you a question. Which Sahaba used to do?
A very big show that they have, that they pretend to be very nice and very
I asked you a question. Which Sahaba
and
used
what
to
they
do?
eventually do is that
Why
they
you
come.
why you said no?
Dr. Yahya, I'm muting you because you're talking over me. The reality of it is that when it comes down to protecting the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, they resort to the same tactics that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad has done.
Be careful next time.
They resort to the same tactics. They resort to the same tactics that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad does. One of the things that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad does is he was abusive to the people that were talking to him.
I didn't abuse.
Now, what I want to do is I want to thank Dr. Yahya for his question. I want to.
Do you think
one second, Dr. Yahya. I'm going to put you down otherwise. I want to thank Dr. Yahya for his question. Why? Because I want you to see the differences in the answer. When Dr. Yahya was asked, would he allow his daughter to pir around with another man before nikah, he said yes. I want you to hear this to protect Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. When I was asked the same question,
yes,
one second.
I'm at that time.
1 second. Calm yourself down. Calm yourself down, Dr. Yahya. Calm yourself down. Calm yourself down. You need to be calm.
You calm yourself.
You need to be calm. When I was asked the same question about something that we would regard as immoral, I said no. I said, Billah, what are you saying? This is the difference between the mindset of the Ahmadi and the Muslim. We will say the truth. We will not say things that are blatantly wrong and incorrect just to protect our prophet, because this is not how we work. Now, if he wants to allow his daughter to peer around with another man, no problem. I don't see it. It's up to him. But I would not allow this at any stage. And I would tell him 100%. There are no Afghans and there are no Jews who would allow any of their daughters to travel around. You bring me some historical evidence, please, Dr. Yahya. Not a highlighted page on a piece of paper. We would like Dr. Yahya to continue to show us this face, because this is the face of the Ahmadi. I would like the people in the chat to understand the level that you have to fall to protect Mirza Ghulam Ahmad.
What happened to you, brother?
Nothing happened. Nothing. I'm clarifying the position. What I'm doing is I'm clarifying the position. So the first question is this: that you believe that Mariam alayhi salam was carrying out something called pirna with Joseph because Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said this. You're lying against the Afghans. You're lying against the Afghans. You're lying against the Jews. You are lying against Mariam alayhi salam. Now there's a problem. There's a problem here. You have to bring the evidence. But thank you very much. That was a very useful interaction. Because we say that the mask. 1 second, Dr. Yahya, relax. You can talk now. The mask from the face has fallen, and I like to see that. Thank you very much.
Now, it was my turn now, inshallah.
Yes, please. I'll give you 2 minutes. You can start.
Yeah. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Again, Dr. Yahya, let me, inshallah, finish whatever you said about Nata, inshallah, in few seconds. Dr. Yahya, listen very carefully. I am giving you, according to your narrative, that there was Nata, etc., etc. You know, when the problem started, when they were going to have nikah, the problem started that she was pregnant, and nikah cannot take place in pregnancy in the law of Moses. That's when the problem started. So all of you, which you are trying to, in your delusion, trying to produce something to defend, it's irrelevant, because understand when the problem starts. When this Nata, according to your understanding, was going to be converted into nikah, the problem started. She was pregnant, and a pregnant lady, according to law of Allah of that time, cannot get married, and Mirza Ghulam admitted that. So whatever you said about Nata, people can see that will not answer anything. Now, lastly, let's come to the point again. So far, we have here 3 responses. This marriage was against the law of Moses. How to justify this marriage still? So 3 answers. Dr. Yahya said that there was flexibility in the law. Dr. Yahya, please produce evidence. You said on record that there are laws which are flexible. And at that time, you were addressing this particular law where women in pregnancy cannot get married. A second answer given by Mirza Ghulam, which is your Hakam and Adal. He accepted that yes, this nikah was against the law of Moses. It was insult to the law of Allah, but the family was forced into this situation. This is Mirza Ghulam's response. We are asking you again and again, but you are not giving. The third possible response could be that this nikah was not against law of Moses, and nobody has any evidence to produce this from Ahmadiyya literature. So if these are the only three answers, which one you are backing up?
It's your time now, Dr. Yasir.
Right. Before I say anything, brother, you noted just claim after the claim, not a single words from the Holy Quran to back them up. That Holy Quran is saying that Hazrat Mariam alayhi salam never got married. Not a single verse. Not a single verse, and they will never.
I'm going to stop you there for a moment because you're saying the same thing that doesn't make sense. Tell me, does the Quran say that there are purple elephants on Jupiter or not?
We are not discussing that topic.
I'm asking you a question. Does the Quran say that there are? Does the Quran say that you can? One second, because your point you're making doesn't make sense. You're arguing from negation. You're arguing from negation. It doesn't make a sense. So does the Quran say that you can play your drums for Fajr? Does the Quran say that you can play your drums for Fajr? Simple question. Does the Quran say that you can play your drum for Fajr?
I will answer in my time.
Your time is now. Does the Quran say that you can play your drums for Fajr?
We are not talking about the drum at Fajr.
Does that mean that you can? Does that mean
why did you even are doing?
Does that mean you're arguing from a negative? You're arguing from the point that you're saying that the Quran does not say something, therefore that thing is okay.
You are doing negative.
This is illogical, Dr. Yahya. What you're saying is that because the Quran doesn't say it, it's okay. The Quran doesn't say that you can't play your drums for Fajr. Does that mean it's okay?
Doesn't make sense. We're talking about this.
The Quran doesn't say. The Quran doesn't say that you can't take a parachute and jump off a building for your Isha.
In detail.
The Quran doesn't say that. The Quran also doesn't say that you can't take a parachute and jump off a bridge for your Fajr.
Why are you doing stream then?
Why
are you doing stream then?
So your point here I'm making to you again is you're arguing from a negative.
Is discussed in the Holy Quran.
You're arguing from the negative.
Your point doesn't make sense, brother.
You're arguing from the negative. The negative doesn't make sense.
But it doesn't make their point doesn't.
Imran Sahib.
Yes, yes.
Imran, look at Yahya's argument. Yahya's argument is that nowhere in the Quran does it say that Mary did not get married. This is his argument. Yes. So it's a negative argument, and he says Quran is on their side. Nowhere in the Quran does it say she got married.
Yes.
Mic drop. Get out.
No, it's okay. So you understand that this negative argument doesn't make sense.
Listen.
Marwan, just come now.
I'm gonna carry you on, but the first point doesn't make sense. So continue, please.
Brother Imran, 1 second. Imtiaz, Imtiaz, brother. Listen,
yes.
You know that we were going to stop coming to yours. Okay, last time you guys were a bit better. Appreciate that. But what is happening today in yours? What's happening? If you don't want us to come, fine. We've got better things to do then.
You've got a minute 12 to answer the question, please.
We can go to our own stream, and that works better for us, to be honest.
Yeah, if you don't answer questions, unfortunately, what happens is if you don't answer questions, we will ask you to answer the question.
One question which I haven't answered. One single question.
All of them. All of them.
Let the public decide.
So did Mirza Ghulam Ahmed consider the nikah to be legal or illegal?
I given you answer.
What was the answer?
I given you answer. How many times have I given the answer?
What was the answer?
He said, okay, now listen. I'm going to give the answer and I'm going to ask you to repeat it. Please. Okay. Mirza Sahib said, as an Ayam Sulah, that Yusuf and Mariam during Nata, there was Pirna. And that is when Hakmer was established. And he said, obviously, after Nikah, he said they don't do any differentiation, the difference. But when obviously they got married, that is after that. I've given you answer, not repeated.
So you said, okay, I'll repeat it to you. They had something which was not nikah, and they were allowed to travel around with this. And then afterwards they had the real nikah.
They were allowed to have children.
So this is a problem now. This is a problem because you have someone who is not married to, who does not have nikah with somebody who is traveling around.
They used to consider that.
1 second, I'm repeating the answer to you. So
okay,
there is something they do which is not nikah, yeah, and they were allowed to travel around. This is the claim that Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is making and you're making as well. They're allowed to travel around, and then they got a proper marriage. Now, 1 second, just be calm. In the reference that Brother Imtiaz gave you, he was very clear. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed says that the nikah was the problem. When the nikah was done, no, 1 second, just be calm. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, 1 second. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is now refuting your words. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is refuting your words. You need to explain. 1 second, your time is up. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is refuting your words. He is saying, Brother Imtiaz, put the reference up again. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is saying that the nikah was the problem because of the pregnancy that they did a nikah and she was forced into doing this even though it was not allowed according to the Sharia of Moses. Your explanation that you're bringing, it goes against the actual quote from Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. So Brother Imtiaz, it's your 2 minutes. If you could quote this and let Dr. Yahya clarify why he's not understanding that the nikah itself was the problem and not this made up nata and nikah thing that he's claiming that the Afghans and the the Jews were doing. Please continue.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Point number one, I first will address what Brother Imran said. Dr. Yahya, and for the viewers, please listen this point, Dr. Yahya, very carefully. After all of this Nata business, when they were going to conduct nikah, according to Ahmadi narrative, Mariam alayhi salam ma'azallah was pregnant. So don't bring the Nata thing. This issue is happening after when Nata is going to be converted into nikah as per your narrative. We are building on your narrative, Dr. Yahya. So when nikah was going to take place, this nikah, as clearly on the screen reference is there, this was against the law of Moses. This was insult to the law of Moses, and Mirza Ghulam conceded that it was against. So don't try to again and again, deny something which you accept at one point. So Mirza Ghulam conceded, as you said, that he considered everything on this matter, and after considering everything on this matter, Dr. Yahya, Mirza Ghulam concluded that we cannot blame the family. Yes, this nikah was illegal, he's clearly saying, but the family was majboor. We should have sympathy on the family. People would raise finger at them. So it is all justifying the haram nikah. Mirza Ghulam never said nikah was legitimate. He is trying to justify a haram nikah, and this justification has no weight, because justification has to come from law of Moses, because nikah was haram as per law of Moses. So if you don't produce something from law of Moses, it's all red herring. Just by Mirza Ghulam saying that we should have sympathy for the family, it would not make the nikah legal. So please, Dr. Yahya, the position of Mirza Ghulam is, yes, nikah was illegal. Yes, it was insult to law of Moses, but the family was forced into this situation, and then this is his answer. So you don't want the answer of your Hakam and Adal as well? And then inshallah I will say in the next term, you're saying that no ayah of the Quran is quoted, etc. Inshallah I will come in the next time, inshallah.
So you understand now the problem here. The problem here is very clear, that according to you, there was a process that was legitimate according to the cultures. The quote from Mirza Ghulam Ahmad directly is telling you that the nikah was the problem. It was done to solve a problem, and it was illegal according to the Sharia of Moses. Now, Dr. Yahya, your problem here is very difficult one for you, is that your explanation about cultures and claims does not work. It does not apply to this situation. You need to explain for why Mirza Ghulam Ahmad wasn't holding your view. Why did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad not agree with you? Why are you saying something that goes against what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying that the nikah is the problem. It was illegal according to the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam, but there was a need. The need was such that we have to take pity on Mariam alayhi salam and not hold her accountable. The family were forced into this situation. Now, so your answer that you're giving, so-called, is not an answer to the question that's being posed, because your answer is opposing Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Are you, Dr. Yahya, giving a different answer to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying the nikah was the problem. You need to explain to us why the nikah was a problem and then solve that. Why is this allowed? Please go ahead. You've got your 2 minutes. I'll start you now.
Brother, you can see now we are in a stream, so every time I finish, Brother Imran has to give a lecture, and then Imtiaz says something, and then he gives another lecture and it gives me 2 minutes. That's not fair. Now, going back again, brother, your stream is about the Holy Quran. Your claim is that Jamaat Ahmadiyya Muslimah does not accept, is rejected Holy Quran. And every time you say, next time I will bring the ayah, next time I will bring the ayah. Is that a joke? Is that a joke, brothers? Don't you guys give any importance to the Holy Quran? Is that your Islam, brothers? I'm asking you again and again. If there is any verse of the Holy Quran, bring it up. Why are you not bringing verse of the Holy Quran, brother? That's like, am I talking to Muslims?
Because you're got about a minute in. You still have not defended Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, Dr. Yahya. Why is that the case?
I said secondly.
Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said very clearly. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, 1 second, I'll pause your time. I'll pause your time. It's okay, I'll pause your time, don't worry. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that the nikah was the problem. He didn't say that there was a nata and then there was a nikah and this was therefore all okay. He said the nikah was against the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam. It was a problem. So now you have to understand that your answer is insufficient. And we understand why you're deflecting, because you don't have an answer to this question. Why was the nikah a problem? Why was it against Musa alayhi salam's Sharia? Because you can't get married when you're pregnant. It's very straightforward. It's illegal to do this. And then she was forced into this. There was a need and she was forced into this, and even Joseph was not pleased about this, but again, he was convinced against his choice. He said that there was no option available. And Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, because there was no choice, that this is something that you have to have mercy about, but that doesn't answer the question that it's illegal. So you do not have an answer so far. What you've done is you deflected to something irrelevant to this. Don't talk about the title. Talk about defending Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. You are giving an answer that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad disagrees with. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad does not agree with you that the nikah was fine. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying the nikah was a problem, and you're not answering this, please. So you're a minute to continue. I'm going to start it. Please clarify. Please.
No, you can have another 10 minutes, brother. Give a speech.
Yeah, you can have a panic attack, but that doesn't help.
No. I'm just laughing. I can see your faces. Okay, now again, it would be much better, Brother Imran, if you've given me verse of the Holy Quran. people would have really admired you. But no words of the Holy. As far as defending Mirza Sahib, what I'm doing, I'm telling you, Brother Imtiaz has misquoted these references. Hazrat Masih Maud in these references of Al-Hakam and the other references, he is quoting the writing of Jews against Jesus and Mariam alayhi salam, and he is telling them they said that. They said that. And when he says that nikah wasn't allowed, obviously he is talking about Jewish statement. Jewish statement. And I think I have explained that.
Your time is
How
up.
many times I have to explain it?
Yes, please.
Let me speak, inshallah. Inshallah, we'll deal with this, inshallah. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, again, I want to stick with one point at a time, inshallah, so people can follow the conversation. Dr. Yahya, so now the whole Nata thing is out of the window. Why? Because, alhamdulillah, I explained for the people that problem started when Nata was going to be converted into nikah, and that's where you need to deal the problem. Second point, Dr. Yahya, we are not going to allow you to misrepresent Mirza Ghulam either. Okay, so we are telling you again and again, and let me say one more time. You are just saying, oh, he was quoting the Yehud, he was quoting the Jews, he was quoting the Christians. Yeah. We know he was bringing all the evidence, all the writings of Yehud, and then he is giving his verdict, his conclusion, what he understood from all of that. And this is the subject matter of discussion. We are not disputing with you that he did quote the kuffar. He did took the whole narrative from the kuffar. We know that. Now we are discussing when he took the thing from kuffar, and then he did his own reflection, and now he's giving us a conclusion. He said, nikah was illegitimate, haram, najais, but because the family was forced into this situation. And the point we are contesting is, just by Mirza Ghulam saying that family was forced into this situation would not change the law of Moses. The whole discussion is on the law of Moses. So Dr. A, please don't waste people's time just saying again in the next turn, oh, he was quoting Yehud. We have already explained that he took all of that from the kuffar, and then he gave his own conclusion. His conclusion is a subject matter of discussion. So understand the matter, please. And now answer the question how the marriage was legal.
Okay, no problem. Time's up, please.
There is problem, yeah.
Brothers, another turn. No words of the Holy Quran. No words, not a single words of Holy Quran. And these people do streams. Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya rejected the Quran. Who is rejecting the Quran? Those people who can't even bring one words of Holy Quran. I feel like saying, you should be, brother, consider that. Now, you said Nata, the problem is when Nata converted into nikah. I given you the answer. You said she was pregnant. I'm telling you, Nata was during the pregnancy. Only Nata. After that, it was nikah. I given you the solution. Promised Messiah alayhi salam has rectified the problem and established that Hazrat Mariam alayhi salam is not to blame. He respected her. You guys are not following the Holy Quran, can't even represent one verse of the Holy Quran, and talking about Jewish law. You're talking about Jewish law. Is this stream about the Jews' law? Simple English. It says chronic law. You didn't bring the streams for whether they follow the Jewish law or not. Now you're talking about Jewish law. Chronic law. We know words of the Holy Quran, brothers. Now, he was defending Mirza Sahib. Yes, he was defending. But at the same time, I told you how many times I have to tell you. He said, I'm going to, at the same time, glorify Holy Prophet ﷺ and answer those allegations which Jew brought forward against Hazrat Isa ﷺ and Hazrat Mariam. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. But again, brother, for God's sake, if you're going to get another turn, I want words of the Holy Quran. Verses of the Holy Quran. Why are you doing stream, brothers?
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, inshallah, Imran bhai, because everybody can see, we are just repeating the question again and again. And inshallah, as Yahya said, we'll let people to decide. So last time, inshallah, I'm going to summarize my answer. First, 10 minutes, Dr. Yahya spent to bring the Nata thing. We clearly explained that this whole problem starts after the Nata thing is over. And now nikah is going to be taking place. She was pregnant in the law of Moses. She cannot get married. This is insult of law of Moses. So all of this is, yes, Mirza Ghulam was quoting kuffar. We know. We said earlier, but we are saying that after bringing all of this information of the kuffar, Mirza Ghulam gave his own decision, verdict as a hakam for you. He said that yes, all of these things are true, but the family was forced into the situation. And the objection we have raised just by Mirza Ghulam saying that family was forced into this situation would not make a haram nikah halal. And this haram nikah has serious implications. You said that they had nata. Implications are, if nikah is haram, according to Ahmadiyya narrative, Mariam and Joseph, they have children afterwards. After Isa Islam, they have children. Okay, what about those children? Are they legitimate children? So you cannot just take the narrative and ignore everything else. So this is the last time I summarize the problem, so our audience can see, the viewers can see what we are asking and what's being answered. Yahya, before he created a cop-out. He said that there was flexibility in the law. When I asked him, give me the evidence, after that, no flexibility point is coming. So don't just make things up on the spot. Okay, stick with what Mirza Ghulam said. We are sticking with what Mirza Ghulam said. Mirza Ghulam is very clear. He admitted that nikah is not legal according to law of Moses, but he said that the family was forced, and the forcing of the family cannot be justification. This is our point.
So you got last 2 minutes because you're just repeating yourself and not answering the questions, Dr. Yahya. So remove this. Go ahead.
उर्दू जैसे मैं खुशी से मरना जाता अगर एतबार होता. I would have died if I have, if I knew 100% I knew, brothers, that Imran brother is not going to bring any words of no words of the Holy Quran, talking here, there, and repeating himself. Some people say waffling. Yeah, they talk about us.
Dr. Yahya, I'd appreciate if you don't carry on insulting and actually.
My apology.
Before you apologize,
that's fine. No problem.
No, 1 second. I'm going to pause your time, because you come on every time, do not engage with any single question that we ask. And everyone in the chat is saying that you're waffling, Dr. Yo, all these derogatory terms, and we don't bring them up. And you're refusing to defend Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and you're saying things opposite to what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying. He is saying that nikah was a problem. For you, it's not a problem. Now you are in direct conflict with the person you think is a prophet who came after Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You are in direct conflict, and the problem is that the reason that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was saying these things and he had to resort to these things is Ahmadis don't believe in miracles. You don't believe in the virgin birth. You don't believe that that Isa Alayhi Salam could do miracles and he could raise the dead and he could be created. But 1 second, I'm giving you an explanation, a clarification. 1 second. You're from and you talk about the Quran, and then what you want to do is tell us in the Quran where it says Joseph was married to Mariam Alayhi Salam. Nothing within this. Everything that the Ahmadi believe about Mariam Alayhi Salam and what happened and how Isa Alayhi Salam was born is taken from Jewish Christian sources. Why? Because Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, this is what he was referring to when he and this is what he affirmed. He affirmed the Jewish narrative that the nikah was a problem. He affirmed the Jewish narrative that she was committing a sin when she was married to Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph, not alayhi salam, Joseph the carpenter. Billah. This is the narrative that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is actually confirming and affirming. These are the references being given to you. These are the reasons why we reject Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, amongst many reasons. You have been invited to defend Mirza Ghulam Ahmad against these clear, nonsensical statements that are attributed to him. But rather than doing that, do you believe that in these things that the nikah that Mariam alayhi salam, who's called the most pure woman of all the women who ever existed, was based upon sin, that she carried out a sin? Is this what you're defending, that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said this? No, you give an explanation that doesn't fit with the explanation of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. You're saying that there was a process, a nata and a nikah, but actually the reference being given to you is that the nikah is the problem, and you're not providing an answer to this. So you've got 1 minute 29 seconds. I'd appreciate if you actually answer the question rather than throw a tantrum about what you think or think.
Can you reset to 2 minutes, please?
No, I'm starting at 1:27. You can carry on.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, doesn't matter. Now, brothers, again, no words of the Holy Quran, and now big lie. As if Mirza Sahib said that Hazrat Mariam alayhi salam sinned. That's the biggest lie in this stream. Show me one reference of Hazrat Mirza Sahib where he said that. One reference. You didn't bring no words of the Holy Quran. Bring me one reference. Why did you lie? Then you saying again, Nata was the problem because the problem started with nikah because after the pregnancy. I've given you answer so many times. When nikah happened, she was not pregnant. She has already given birth to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, brother. That real nikah happened after that. They never didn't differentiate between nikah and nata. She had nata during pregnancy, and after pregnancy, when she was free to have nikah, she had that nikah. Yes, during Jews in their writings have written that, and Promised Messiah Islam said they have done this zulm. Okay, now I have proved, alhamdulillah. Imtiaz, brother, I wish you at least read those references complete, in full, and don't do what you're doing. You've done exactly the same thing again, and alhamdulillah, I have resolved the problem with one key. Promised Messiah Islam, the key which I showed you, he said, I'm going to collect all these allegations, and I'm going to answer them, and I'm going to glorify my beloved Prophet, Holy Prophet ﷺ, and at the end, no words of the Holy Quran, no words of the Holy Quran. And you saying this stream.
The time is up now. Thank you very much.
Okay, Imran bhai, just one point very quickly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Just one point. This is the reference from Mirza Ghulam. लेकिन 6-7 महीने का हमल नुमाया हो गया, तब हमल की हालत में ही कौम के बुजुर्गों ने मरियम का यूसुफ निजार से निकाह कर दिया. And Dr. Yahya, just you said few seconds ago that nikah did not happen during the pregnancy. Mirza is saying, but when she was pregnant for 6 or 7 months, the elders, the kuffar, according to Mirza Ghulam, the kuffar.
Show me the reference. Yeah. What's the reference?
Okay, wait. Okay.
Yeah, please.
So, listen very carefully.
Yeah.
Ruhani Khazain, reference is there to volume 20 page 355. लेकिन 6-7 महीने का हमल नुमाया हो गया. When the 6 or 7 months pregnancy became apparent, तब हमल की हालत में ही, then in the state of pregnancy, कौम के बुजुर्गों ने मरियम का यूसुफ नज्जार से निकाह कर दिया. The kuffar elders of the family got her married with Joseph the carpenter. और इसके घर जाते ही 1-2 माह के बाद मरियम को बेटा पैदा हो गया. And after she went to his home, after a couple of months, she gave birth to a son. वही ईसा या यसू के नाम से मौसूम हुआ. This was referred or was given the title or the name of Isa or Yeshua.
So you're in the same position, Dr. Yahya. So not only have you said, not only have you, one second. Yeah, I'm speaking now, so you have to listen. So not only did you contradict Mirza Ghulam Ahmed when it came to the nikah being the problem. One second. You can talk in a second. 1 second. Just be calm. Be calm. You can put your reference. You can get it ready so you can put it up on screen. We'll have a look at it. So not only did you go against the claim of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed that the nikah was a problem. You explained. You gave this elaborate story of a nata and nikah and how the nata was something that happened during the pregnancy and the nikah happened after the birth of Isa alayhi salam. This was your claim right now in front of all of the people who are watching the stream, and you have a reference here contradicting you. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is contradicting your words 100%. 100%. What you said is against Mirza Ghulam Ahmed about the nikah being a problem, about the nikah happening after the birth of Isa alayhi salam. Everything you've said, and why? To protect someone who's quite clearly saying things that are wrong. This is the Ahmadiyya that you're presenting. So now you need to clarify this. You said this is wrong. Give us the reference that shows that this is wrong. Because at best you have a contradiction. If somebody's saying things that are contradictory, then that person is unreliable. We do not believe in them. We reject them. So you need to tell us how you're going to coincide, how you're going to reconcile this with the other statement of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. If you're going to present one, I want a statement from Mirza Ghulam Ahmed saying what you said, that the nikah, the nata happened first after the birth of Isa alayhi salam, then the nikah happened. I want you to show that, and then I want you to explain why this statement is contradicting that statement. Which one was the wrong ilham? Which one was it where Allah was not correcting or was correcting? Explain where this error comes from. Because someone who's contradicted themselves, in every other word, and even you've been in every other word, he's saying one thing, A over here and B over there, Z over here and Y over here, and they're all right. When it comes to those points, this is a problem. If Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is true, then his statement should coincide and at least reconcile with each other. So you bring the other reference if this is false and show us why this reference is not correct. Because everything you've said so far about Mirza Ghulam Ahmed and Mariam al-Islam and the nikah between Joseph and Mariam al-Islam, everything you've said has been according to Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, not from us. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed is telling you that you are wrong. So please clarify this.
Okay. Now, Brother Imtiaz claims that he has read Mirza Sahib books more than anyone else on this earth. Brother Imtiaz, Chashma-e-Masihi, the book you are referring to, what was the reason this book was written? Was it in favor of Christians or against Christians? Masih Maud is answering the allegations. Isn't that true? That these 2 lines which you brought in the middle is an ilzami jawab to Christians. You just got 3 lines.
I'm going to stop your time. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. I'm stopping your time. The point here is nothing to do with who is being responded to. This is a red herring.
Why
the point here is okay. I will give you the
Imran bhai, one second. Dr. Yahya, if I produce 5 references from other book clearly that this nikah happened during pregnancy, then what?
Look, you have to understand.
Answer the question, please.
No, answer the question.
I'm answering the question. What I'm doing here. You
please.
Don't stop me in the middle. You see how many times I have to read the same line to you guys again and again. Hazur said, unke baaz kabail nata और निकाह में कुछ चंदा फर्क नहीं समझते. How many? The answer is there.
Now you're saying things that are not true. So here we have a problem.
No.
One second.
One second.
No, I'm muting you 1 second. This is a problem here. The problem here is this.
Ask him to bring the verse of Holy Quran.
1 second. Just be calm.
No.
Just be calm, because you dug yourself a very deep hole. We're going to try and help you. We're giving you an opportunity to get out of it. 1 second, Dr. Yahya, 1 second. Be calm. Yeah. Now this is a problem here. We have you made a claim that this was a reference. The way you answer this question is because who they're responding to. You can't lie as a response. You cannot tell an untruth as a response to anyone. Whoever you're saying that response to, you can't lie as your response. This is a basic principle. In one place, the statement being made.
You know what is that?
One second. I'm giving you the lie. I'm clarifying the lie for you so you understand it. One second. I'm giving you just be principled. Calm yourself down. 1 second. Your time is muted. You're stopped. So just give me a second. So here we have Now we have different contradictory statements. Okay, we have statements clearly saying the nikah was after the birth of Isa alayhi salam. This is your claim. You make this claim. The nata happened first during the pregnancy, and the nikah happened afterward. You're making this, isn't it? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying the nikah happened during the pregnancy. Okay, and on top of that, this is clarifying for you that this is the case. Now, what are you saying? Oh, this is who they're responding to. It doesn't make sense. You cannot lie as your response. So now you need to explain why there is this difference between your words and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's words.
No
if
problem.
You bring other words of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, you need to clarify why they're contradicting each other.
No problem.
Clarify. Contradictions are pointing towards someone who is not telling the truth. So you need to clarify this for us, please.
Okay, shall I start now?
Yeah, your time is there. I'm going to start it when you start speaking.
Now, Brother Imran, with your these statements, you have thrown all of those Muslim scholars who...
Okay, I'm going to stop you again. Why am I stopping you? Because this is why am I stopping you? I'll tell you why I'm stopping. Because you're not defending Mirza Ghulam Ahmad.
I am.
I want to know why Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. I want to know.
Of course I am.
One second, calm down. You're calm down, because this is the standard thing. Rather than answer the first say to me, yes, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said these things that are contradictory, and then you can point towards other people who you think said the same thing. Don't start with the people you think may have said something and without addressing Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's statements first.
Look, brother,
was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad writing correctly? Was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad writing correctly when he said, I'm muting you because you're talking over me. Was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad correct in stating? One second, you need to be calm, Dr. Yahya. Be calm. Just listen. Don't worry. Don't get agitated. Just be calm.
I want to talk.
Just be calm. Was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, was he correct in saying? Are you correct in saying that the nikah happened after the birth, or is Mirza Ghulam correct in saying that the nikah happened during the birth? Give us a response to this question. We want to know the answer to this. So please answer the question. I'm going to start your time when you start talking.
If you're going to, start speaking in the middle, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
What's the point of me saying anything?
Feel free to leave.
Okay. Listen, Brother Imtiaz. First thing first. While a person is here, look, I'm here. And somebody from your team is bringing whoever some comments are here in front of me. Dr. Yahya this, Dr. Yahya that. Is that allowed in Islam? I'm your guest. Come on, brother. Yeah, that's not fair. Secondly, I will give you answer, Imran.
Don't use being a guest as an excuse.
I'm waiting for the answer, Dr. Yahya.
You want me to go? No,
I want you to answer the question. Otherwise, you're free to do whatever you like.
I need 2 minutes because you guys interrupted me.
Imran bhai, give him uninterrupted 2 minutes, inshallah. Dr. Yahya, before you 2 minutes start, please understand the question. You said that this nikah happened after the birth of Jesus. Mirza Ghulam everywhere has said that this nikah happened during pregnancy when Mariam was pregnant with Jesus. You are going to reconcile these two things for us.
Yeah, of course. No problem.
Please, your time starts now.
Yeah, no problem. We all know, brothers, what ilzami jawab is. Hazrat Mirza Sahib, because at that time, he was dealing with Christians who were converting Muslims into Christianity. When he gave answers, at the same time, when he gave these answers, he used ilzami jawab to prove it to Christians that the person you call God, this is his reality, not from Islamic perspective, from biblical perspective. And that's why you see such quotations in Mirza Sahib's books, which is 100% allowed. Kiranvi Sahib did it, other scholars did it. If it's not allowed, then you should make an announcement. Sallallahu Amritsari Sahib did it. It's allowed. It's ilzami jawabat. Okay, secondly, now I have given you the answer. Whatever I had to give it to you. You don't agree with my answers. Public wants to know verses of the Holy Quran. Where are they? Promise number 1, during first time, when you talk Imtiaz, second time, third time, fourth time, there has to be some limits, brother. During all that you said, next time I will give it. Next time I will give it. Were you telling the truth? You were not. You didn't. And that is that I am really hurt about. You guys for your stream giving these titles, big titles, not a one verse of the Holy Quran in your favor. And you talk about Hazrat Mirza Sahib who defended Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, who defended Hazrat Mariam, even though at that time there were Christians there, and because they were there, he glorified Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He glorified Islam, and he did Qasr Asrib at the same time. Difficult job, but he did it, alhamdulillah. Your ulama accept that. But again,
okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Imran bhai, now inshallah my request is let's go inshallah even 1 minute by 1 minute. So you said, Dr. Yahya, that when Mirza Ghulam was quoting all of these things, in which he was saying that my time start now, Imran bhai. Bismillah.
Yeah, I'll start it.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dr. Yahya, listen very carefully. You only gave one answer. So the problem was Mirza Ghulam has written everywhere that this nikah happened during pregnancy. Today you made a claim that no, this nikah happened after pregnancy. When we produce reference from Tashmai Masihi, you said that, oh, this book, then I produced some other reference. I said that I can produce 5 more references, inshallah, from different books in which Mirza Ghulam has always stated that this nikah happened during pregnancy. Now, you're saying it was Ilzami Jawab, it was not the position of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, not a problem. Let's deal with this one. In your turn, tell us that what was his position and quote us his position. Because you're saying that all of this was Ilzami Jawab. His position was what you said. Now you need to produce evidence, Dr. Yahya, in which Mirza Ghulam is saying that this nikah happened after the delivery of Isa alayhi salam, not in pregnancy. And if you don't produce the reference, I would not call what it will be called then in the public. Okay, point number 2. Dr. Yahya, I did not say to you, next time I will present. I said that let's deal point by point. We are still dealing with point number 1. There was this marriage legitimate or not? Okay, I said to you, once we finish this point, I have promised you we're gonna discuss from the Quran. But everybody can see, you agree with one thing at one point. For example, you agreed that this nikah happened and it was illegitimate nikah, and then you next moment you take it back. So discussion is not heading anywhere. So now, just to summarize, please produce evidence in which you clarify Mirza Ghulam's position that this nikah happened after the delivery, not in pregnancy. That's all I want to see in your turn. Otherwise, please don't just say things which you can't back up.
Right.
Imran bhai, I want to see that reference now.
Yeah, that my time started. Now, if you want to see the reference, Brother Imtiaz, I also want to see the verses of the Holy Quran, even though I have given you the reference and you have not even given one single verse of the Holy Quran. And brother, look, people are watching. You saying you didn't say I will represent it next term? You said it so many times, multiple times you said that. And if I say you're lying, okay, I will say you're not telling the truth. I won't say you're lying. You're not telling the truth. And I will even cut. If you want, I can upload those on Twitter, inshallah. Now, with regard to references, I have given you answer again, brother. Hazrat Mirza Sahib, you have to understand, it's very easy to say things here like 125 years after. Why Mirza Sahib wrote this? Why Mirza Sahib wrote that? You guys have to explain, not just Mirza Sahib. Even Muslim scholars, they had to do Ilzami Jawabat. They had to write many things which were otherwise, sometimes they were their beliefs, sometimes they were not their beliefs. But to keep Christians quiet, they had to do that. And Hazrat Mirza Sahib done the same thing when he talked about it. With regard to, you said legitimate or illegitimate, Jamaat Ahmadiyya, Mirza Sahib, where he's written, he said, I respect all, not just Jesus, I respect his 3 or 4 whatever brothers he's written and his sisters. Of course, we consider them legitimate children. Why? Because I explained to you, Mirza Sahib, this references for people like me who want to really, don't look at the angle of Munkareen. Mirza Sahib has written very clearly that they never used, there was no difference between Nata and Nikah. And then he says, औरतें अपने मंसूब से बिला तकल्लुम. Okay, fine.
Okay,
Imran bhai.
Bismillah.
Yes.
Just one second. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Imran bhai, I would say, inshallah, this is the last turn on this topic because we are again in the circle. So, inshallah, I will summarize what I have been saying in the past 20 minutes. Inshallah, Yahya has the right to summarize as well, no problem at all. So, just to summarize, in the heat of moment, Dr. Yahya end up saying that this nikah happened after pregnancy. Uqsim billah, Yahya made that mistake according to the writings of Mirza Ghulam. And the simple thing was, just admit that there was slip of tongue and you just take it back. I am telling you, Dr. Yahya, this is not Ilzami Jawab. The opposite is called Tahqiqi Jawab. This is the research. Mirza Ghulam took all the evidence from Christians, Jews, whatever sources. Then he did his research. After research, he giving the answer. This is not called Ilzami Jawab. This is called Tahqiqi Jawab, his researched answer. So please don't call it. So just to summarize, Dr. Yahya made a slip of tongue. I can understand that this nikah happened after pregnancy. Now, the simple thing is, take it back. You are a human being because Dr. Yahya, Mirza Ghulam is very clear. Everywhere he discussed this issue, he's very clear that this nikah happened during pregnancy. If you want, I can produce more evidence. Point number 2 is, Dr. Yahya, look, inshallah, I want to touch upon the point of Quran. And we gave this answer to Razi as well, and I want viewer to pay attention. We in Islam do not have any such thing as Joseph the Carpenter narrative. This Joseph the Carpenter narrative and this whole, this nightmare of all of this marriage and illegitimate marriage, this is an Ahmadiyya position. The person who makes a knowledge claim, the person who holds a position, he is the one to produce evidence. And there is no evidence from Quran and Sunnah. You holding a position, this is your position, and you want me to bring Quran. We are refuting this position, that this position has no basis in the Quran. Now, why it is against the Quran? Listen very carefully. Because according to all of this research of Mirza Ghulam, this nikah was haram. And if Mariam alayhi salam was involved in a haram nikah, then his children become illegitimate. That's why we're calling it an anti-Quran narrative. In order to produce the evidence, it's your job. Our job is to rebut that narrative.
Time is up. So this is your. I'm going to give the last 2 minutes, I think, because then we need to move on to someone who may help a bit more. So you're going to produce the evidence, Dr. Yahya, about if the nikah was you're clarifying that the nikah was taking place before the birth or after the birth, because you made both. The claims are contradictory. There's Mirza Ghulam Ahmed on one side saying that the nikah took place before the birth, and there's you on the other side making another quote saying that the nikah took place after the birth, but there was something else that was conducted before. So are you correct? And Mirza Ghulam Ahmed was confused about the terms nikah and nata, or did Mirza Ghulam Ahmed say the right thing and you've made a mistake? Please provide the references. We're waiting for you to do that. I'll start your time as soon as you start talking.
Okay. Now, brothers, you with regard to use, you try to play with words. Tahqiqi jawab, ilzami jawab. I thought you understood what I'm saying. I said ilzami jawab when you brought the reference of Chashma Masihi, and we all know that book was what Prophet Islam wrote against Christians, and there's 1.5 paragraph there which you just took 3 lines. Those are ilzami jawabat. That's why I use the word ilzami jawab. Chashma Masihi mostly is jawabat to Christian. Now you said tahqiqi jawab. I have from the very beginning, when I said I've given you the key, what did I say? Hazrat Masih Maud said that I'm going to collect all these allegations and I'm going to answer these allegations, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to compare Jesus with the Holy Prophet. Why he said that? Because even though when he was clarifying all these things, you will see different writings, he has done a little bit things differently. Why? When he is talking to Christians, and especially when he's giving them the answers that because they used to say he was born without father, he is God. He used to at the same time when he was proving this, that is the legitimate child, he was born without father. He at the same time he used this thing to say that look, you're God. This is a rarity. These are the problems according to your literature. He did say that. With regard to nikah, I've explained to you so many times. Nata was during pregnancy, and nikah was afterwards. Children were legitimate. How many times I explained to you?
The time is up now.
Imran bhai, just in 10 seconds, I want Dr. Yahya to answer. Dr. Yahya, okay, leave the ilzami jawab. According to Mirza Ghulam's own position, did Mariam alayhi salam, according to your Mirza Ghulam's position, did she marry nikah, not nata now nikah? Did she marry during pregnancy or after the birth of Isa alayhi salam? What was his own position?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Okay, let me repeat the question. You said that all of this was ilzami jawab. Now I want to know the actual position of Mirza Ghulam. What was his position? This marriage, now nata, now the marriage point, okay? This marriage, the nikah between Mariam and Joseph, did it take place after the birth of Isa alayhi salam or during pregnancy?
Okay, very simple answer I've given you so many times. Important thing is, brother, that the relationship between Yusuf and Hazrat Mariam did not happen during the pregnancy.
It's not my question.
I'm
avoiding the question.
Nikah.
You're avoiding the question.
I'm
giving you
the
question and you're avoiding it.
Answer. Let me explain.
People are watching you avoid the question for the last half an hour.
No.
The question is very simple. The nikah, when did it take place? Did the nikah take place during the pregnancy or after the birth of Isa alayhi salam? Very straightforward question.
I've given you.
What was the position of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed on this? Was it during the pregnancy, the nikah, or was the nikah after the birth of Isa alayhi salam?
Imran bhai, let me make it more simpler and more clear for Dr. Yahya. Dr. Yahya, after Mariam alayhi salam moved into the house of Joseph, the carpenter, and they started to properly live together as husband and wife, at that time, was Mariam still pregnant or she already gave the birth? Now, very specific question. After she moved into his house and they started, listen. After Mariam alayhi salam moved into the house of Joseph, and they started to live as husband and wife. At that time, not nata, at that time, was she pregnant?
No.
Okay, now wait here. Let me put the reference on the screen because we don't want to just, keep moving without the proper evidence. Just give me 1 second. I just, inshallah, put on the screen the reference.
You know what? While you're bringing that reference, brother.
No, wait. No, please, before. Please.
I will tell you where you're mistaken.
You have to wait for this now. You've made a claim.
Yeah, that's fine.
You've made a claim. 1 second. Dr. Yahya, you've made a claim and we want to clarify. Don't let the people be confused by you're changing the topic. Just wait 1 second.
Imran bhai, I am going to read the reference, and if Dr. Yahya believes that this reference is a misquotation, misattribution, then he need to bring evidence that what was the actual MGA's position. So listen very carefully. लेकिन जब 6-7 महीने का हमल नुमाया हो गया, but when the 6th or 7th month pregnancy became apparent, तब हमल की हालत में ही, then in the state of pregnancy, कौम के बुजुर्गों ने, the elders of the nation, मरियम का यूसुफ से निकाह कर दिया. They got her married with Joseph the carpenter. और इसके घर जाते ही, and after she moved with him in his house, after a couple of months, she gave birth to a child, and this is the child which is called Jesus, Yeshua, or Isa alayhi salam. So, Dr. Yahya, now this reference is crystal clear. It is anti to what you said. Now, if you want to claim, listen very carefully, if you want to claim that this reference is ilzami jawab, then please produce your reference of tahqiqi jawab.
Can I say
Yes,
now?
Yahya. Yes, please.
Brother Imtiaz, look, you see, once we given you answer, you should let public decide what happened. This Chashma Masihi, we discussed that. I told you this is Ilzami Jawab. You're just bringing 3 lines. The whole book is against Christianity, and this is Ilzami Jawab. Why? Why Ilzami Jawab? I told you so many times. At that time, Christians were trying to convert Muslim. Promise Messiah.
Imran bhai, we got the answer.
Yeah, so you're not answering the question. So everything
Imam,
that you said.
Imam, wait. Okay, yeah, look, yeah. I accept. For the sake of argument, yeah, let's move on. For the sake of argument, I am accepting your answer for sake of argument, by the way. You are saying that when Mirza Ghulam said that Mariam alayhi salam, she was pregnant when she moved with Joseph the carpenter and started to live as husband and wife. You said it is Ilzami. Now, listen, I am conceding it as a for sake of argument. Now, you need to produce that reference in which you can claim or you can prove that actually Mirza Ghulam believes that she moved after she gave birth to Isa Islam. Because if this is Ilzami Jawab, then produce the Hakiki Jawab. Simple. Secondly, when we state fact, Mirza Ghulam is stating some fact. He is calling this person Isa and Yesu, both. Yeshua and Isa alayhi salam, both. Okay. He is making a statement of fact. In a Ilzami Jawab, yeah, please listen very. Ilzami Jawab do not change the nature of statement of fact. Okay. Ilzami Jawab does not change the nature. If you are stating a fact, it remains fact. Mirza Ghulam is giving a news, and the news is that when Mariam was 6 or 7 months pregnant, she moved in the house of Joseph the carpenter. After 2 months, she gave birth to Isa. Okay, you are again and again saying same thing without producing evidence. You said it is Ilzami Jawab. I'm asking you for sake of argument. I'm conceding if it was Ilzami or accusative answer, then give us the proper answer from the books of Mirza Ghulam, where he is saying what you said, that this marriage happened after the birth of Isa. So please stick on this point, Yahya.
Can I speak now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, brothers, I'm really surprised with with whatever you said during these 2 minutes. You saying that during Ilzami Jawab, it doesn't change, that the nature and facts don't change. Brother, do you know what Ilzami Jawab is? Have you ever? I will give you example. Ahmadi and Zakir Naik, they both believe in Hayat Isa, right? But when they talk to Christian, they talk about death, that he's dead. You saying that nothing changed. Please, brother, do some tahqiq. Don't just claim things which are not true. Okay, that's one thing. Secondly, I'm saying to you so many times, I have said it. Prophet Islam has also written, they didn't used to differentiate between nata and nikah. Important thing is sexual relationship, they only happen after pregnancy, after proper nikah. But because they never used to differentiate between nikah and nata, they used to, that's why also in their books it says nikah, and Prophet ﷺ used that. Why use that? He used that in Ilzami Jawabat to prove it to these people that you consider them God, son of God, but this is the situation, okay? And this is the situation, and that's why it's written, they didn't follow the law of Moses. Why? Because he glorified Holy Prophet ﷺ. You read all those references. I'm really surprised you say you've read them. Why the Holy Prophet ﷺ has been mentioned in those references? Why?
Your time is up. So thank you for whatever you did. So are you saying that the nikah took place before the pregnancy or after the pregnancy, after the delivery of Isa alayhi salam?
Important thing you're again missing.
I'm asking you a very straightforward question.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Did the nikah take place before the birth of Isa alayhi salam or after the birth of Isa alayhi salam?
Nata, which they used to consider as nikah before.
Nikah, I'm talking about nikah. I'm very clear in my terminology. I'm using the same terminology that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad used, that she had a nikah and they went to her house with him.
Yeah.
So I'm using the same terminology. One second. I'm using the same terminology that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad used. Nikah. Did the nikah happen before the birth of Isa alayhi salam or after the birth of Isa alayhi salam?
Okay. Now, these writings most of them, which Imtiaz presented, they're from 1902. At that time, Hazur has mentioned those references from Jewish writings. Jewish use the word nikah, Hazur used the word nikah.
So was it? I'm asking you a question now. Okay, that's fine. Was the nikah the wrong term to use?
From Jews have used it.
Was the nikah before the pregnancy was finished, before the birth of Isa alayhi salam? Was nikah the wrong term to use or the right term to use? Is what I'm asking.
They used to. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you a question.
How many times?
One second.
No,
we're not talking about. We're talking about different peoples. The Jews don't have anything called nata. Yeah. So I'm clarifying for you.
That's what I'm telling you.
Wait, 1 second. Did Mirza Ghulam Ahmed was the term that he used was nikah before the birth of Isa alayhi salam? Was this the wrong term? Was this the wrong term to use?
Imran bhai, to make it simple, when Mariam moved into the house of Joseph, they started to live together as wife and husband. Was it nata or nikah?
At that time, when they had relationship, it was the proper nikah.
Okay, listen now. Now Mirza Ghulam is saying here that once she moved into his house, which you said that now this was proper nikah has happened. He said that after when she moved, she was 7 months pregnant. It means that she moved and started to live, which you call proper nikah. This nikah happened in the pregnancy. That's all we are saying.
No. This is Islamic jawab. This is Islamic jawab.
What you're basically, without realizing, Dr. Yahya, what you're saying is that Mirza Ghulam Ahmed made a mistake in his vocabulary, and Allah did not correct him.
There was no
did not give him any correction of his mistake of his vocabulary. You are clarifying. 1 second, you're talking over me. You're not listening to me. You are not clarifying. You are saying that the nikah took place after the birth of Isa alayhi salam. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed directly contradicts you, and he says that the nikah took place at 7 months, and Mariam Islam went with him, went with Joseph to live in his house. Now, your only route out of this is to say that he was using a Jewish term, which makes no sense. It makes no sense. Did Allah not correct his mistake? Because this is a mistake in terminology now. This is what you've been left with. You've been left with this position where you yourself have to now be in conflict with Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. You saying that there was some sort of engagement and then there was the proper nikah later, and before them they could travel around, but it wasn't the full nikah, they couldn't have relations. This is a direct statement that after the nikah, at 7 months, she went to live in the house of Joseph, according to Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. And so now your terminology is incorrect. You're putting the error of the terminology onto Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, all without realizing that this is what you're doing. So who should I believe? Should I believe what you're saying, or should I believe the writings of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed when he says that nikah took place at 7 months? And she went to move into with Joseph to his house. Who should I believe? Yours version of Ahmadiyya, or should I believe in Mirza Ghulam Ahmed's statement of Ahmadiyya? Who is right here?
Shall I answer now?
Yeah, please.
Okay. For me, whatever Brother Imran believes is not important for me. Let the public decide. I have said whatever I had to say.
So you're not answering the question.
Understood. If you don't want to understand,
you're not answering the question. Very straightforward question. I'll repeat it for you. I'm going to block you because what you're saying is I'm not interested in what you believe or not believe. I'm asking you, for the people that are listening, that you are making a contradictory statement. You are here, Dr. Yahya, representing Islam Ahmadiyya, whether you like it or not. You are a representative of them. Probably official, because we don't see many non-official Ahmadiyya here. And we're asking you a very straightforward question.
No, I'm not.
No problem. No problem. Now I'm going to ask you a very straightforward question. You have presented two opposing things about the statements of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. One statement is that there was something called engagement and nikah took place later after the birth of Isa alayhi salam. This is a claim that you made. Then you were presented with evidence of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed himself saying that the nikah took place during 7 months of pregnancy and she moved into the home of Joseph. Now, both of these statements cannot be true. Both of these statements cannot be true. You are making either Mirza Ghulam Ahmed someone who does not know what's going on and is making contradictory statements, or there must be some other explanation. Maybe other people wrote these books and they didn't know what other people were writing. Or maybe you're mistaken. Maybe the claim you're making about the Jews and the Afghans is completely falsified. It does not apply to this particular situation. All of this, on top of that, with Mirza Ghulam Ahmed says the nikah was a problem. It was something that they were forced into doing. It was against the law of Musa alayhi salam. So this would be that the Ahmadi in the position that they're putting Mariam Islam in a position where she's carrying out something which is against the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam, which would be sinful. This is the implication. So all of these problems are coming from the position you're taking. And again, simple question: did Mirza Ghulam Ahmed not know the correct term to use for this marriage? Or are you saying that he used the right term and you're mistaken, or you used the right term and he's mistaken? What is the position? I think this is the final minute or so we'll give you, and then after that we'll ask you we'll bring on someone else. So please answer the question, please.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Now, with regard to terms, I think I have explain myself, whatever I wanted to say, again and again. I think let the public decide. But at the end, you are, Brother Imran, you are so much saying about what I said and why I didn't say. Brother Imtiaz has said so many times he's going to bring verses of the Holy Quran, not one single verse. Have you asked him why is he doing a program without any words of the Holy Quran backing him up? And he said very clearly, he said something is from the Holy Quran when Holy Quran 100% back that up. Where is the verse of Holy Quran? Why are you doing this program? Why are you doing this stream? You wasted people 7 hours 18 minutes, not a one single verse about this topic. Why didn't you ask him, brother? Whatever I had to say, Alhamdulillah, I have done my job, and by the grace of Allah, people have understood it, whoever want to understand. If you don't want to understand, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ like Rafiddin. Fine, no problem with me, brother. Yes, problem with me is, and I will say at the end again, in future, please, if you have to do any stream where you claim this is from the Holy Quran, start with the verses of the Holy Quran first. Explain your point. Explain your belief from the Holy Quran. You haven't even done that. And then you're saying Jamaat Ahmadiyya doesn't believe in the Holy Quran. You have to prove your point first. You didn't do that, brothers. And you doing this. As far as Hazrat Mirza Sahib's thing is concerned, I've explained the important thing is the husband and wife relationship, as we believe, started after the pregnancy when they had proper nikah, and they used to call nikah and nata. They didn't used to differentiate that much. Simple.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your
No problem. Brother Imtiaz,
Yes.
listen,
Yes.
look, it doesn't affect me that much, but from your stream point of view, brother, it does not look nice. I said to
I don't want to hear this. If you want to make suggestions, send us an email.
I'm talking to him. No,
I'm not allowed.
Right, brother Imtiaz, can I say
right.
something or not?
It's not your right. So what I would like you to do is, if you have suggestions to make about how the stream should be run,
No,
please send an email. Our official email will be available to you. Our official email will be available to you. You can email us, because this is just a tactic that you have. I do not like how this is unreasonable. Thank you very much, Dr. Yahya, for your time. We appreciate everything that you've done. We wish you all the best. What we've learned today is something very interesting. We've learned something very interesting today, and that is that the Ahmadi are not able to clarify which of the positions is correct, whether Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was unsure about the term nikah, or whether or not the nikah took place before or after the birth of Isa alayhi salam. There's no clarification of this.
Say something to you. Imtiaz, say something to you.
Brother, this is fine. Your time is up now. Thank you very much. We have other people waiting. Please don't take over their time. Yeah. I will ask you to leave, otherwise I'll put you down from the stream.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much. All the best.
Imran bhai, just inshallah one very quick comment, because I said earlier as well, but just for the sake of the common people. Look, if somebody makes a knowledge claim that Mariam alayhi salam, she got married with Joseph, and that's how this marriage whole thing took place. This is a knowledge claim. If they have any evidence, they need to produce evidence from the Quran and Sunnah. So they are just doing the the reverse logic. They have a belief and they want us to bring from the Quran. Number one. Number two, with regard to our position, number one, we are exposing the kufr of this marriage, because according to their own admission, this was an illegitimate marriage. It was insult to the law of Moses, and the necessary implications are that because it was not marriage to begin with. So any children they can have, they will be maazallah, they will be illegitimate children. So this is how we are bringing Quran into the narrative. So when it comes to establishing the narrative, they need to produce Quran and Sunnah. They don't have any evidence in Quran and Sunnah. There's no Joseph, number one. And number two, when it comes to us, we are the one who are exposing the kufr of this belief. Because according to Quran and Sunnah, Mariam is a blessed, chosen lady. And according to Mirza Ghulam, she has the burden of fault as well on her, because she was hiding the dream and the pregnancy. So this is how we are relating this with Quran and Sunnah. We are exposing the kufr of this belief.